how emotional needs change at different stages of life. Most people think they understand what they want in life. They're wrong, because the things you chase at 20 may become the things you stop caring about at 50. The attention you once wanted, the approval you once needed, the people you once tried so hard to impress. One day, they may mean almost nothing. And that's when a person discovers one of life's most uncomfortable truths. Your emotional needs change. But most people don't change with them. They keep chasing old desires, old validation, old versions of themselves. But the reason is deeper than most people realize. We'll come back to that in a moment, because understanding this can change the way you see your entire life. A man named David learned this lesson at 48 years old. From the outside, David looked successful, a respected career, a beautiful house, money in the bank, people who knew his name. For years, he believed he was building the perfect life. Because when he was younger, success meant being noticed, being admired, being important. Every achievement gave him a feeling of value. Every compliment gave him confidence. Every sign of approval made him believe he was moving in the right direction. But slowly, something changed. The things that once excited him no longer felt meaningful. The achievements became quieter. The attention became less satisfying. The approval disappeared faster. And one evening, sitting alone in his office, after everyone had gone home, David asked himself a question he had avoided for years. Why do I have everything I wanted, but still feel like something is missing? That question started a journey he never expected, because the biggest changes in life don't always happen around you. Sometimes they happen inside you, and most people never notice. Human beings move through different emotional seasons. At one stage of life, you may want recognition. At another stage, you may want connection. Later, you may simply want peace. But here's the problem. Most people keep trying to satisfy the person they used to be, not the person they are becoming. Maybe you've experienced this. Maybe something that once mattered deeply to you no longer feels important. Maybe you've reached a point where attention feels empty. Maybe you've started wanting fewer people around you, but deeper connections. That's not failure, that's growth. But many people misunderstand it. Most people think needing less excitement means they're losing something. They're wrong. Sometimes losing interest in noise means you're finally discovering yourself. When people are young, they often chase external validation. They want to prove themselves. They want acceptance. They want to feel chosen. And this is natural, because early in life, people are building identity. They are asking, am I valuable? Do I matter? Do people see me? But if a person never grows beyond that stage, the same need that once motivated them begins to control them. Approval becomes an addiction. Attention becomes a measurement of worth. And they slowly become dependent on the outside world to feel complete. But there's another stage most people are never prepared for. And this one changes everything. Eventually, life becomes less about being noticed and more about being understood. A person stops asking, how many people admire me? And starts asking, who actually knows me? That's when quality replaces quantity, depth replaces attention, peace replaces excitement. But this transition can be painful, because it often reveals the truth about your relationships. Some people only like the version of you that have benefited them, because of what you provided. Some connections were built on convenience, not meaning. And discovering that hurts, but it also creates freedom. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many people spend half their lives collecting attention, only to realize they were starving for connection. They had followers, but not understanding. They had conversations, but not honesty. They had people around them, but still felt alone. And maybe this is happening to you right now. Maybe life is showing you that what you need today is different from what you needed years ago. The question is, will you listen, or will you keep chasing an old version of yourself? This is where ancient Stoic wisdom becomes powerful. Marcus Aurelius spent much of his life surrounded by influence, power, status, recognition. He was one of the most important men in the world, but his private writings reveal something surprising. He was not obsessed with being admired. He was focused on mastering himself. Because he understood something most people learn too late. Everything external changes, attention fades, status disappears, opinions shift, but character remains. The Stoics understood that peace comes from aligning your life with your values, not constantly chasing what the world tells you to want. And that lesson becomes more important with age, because eventually, everyone faces themselves. Without the titles, without the applause, without the distractions, and the question becomes simple. Did I build a life that looked successful, or a life that actually felt meaningful? That's the moment everything becomes clear. The greatest emotional need is not attention. It's not popularity. It's not endless excitement. It's peace. Peace with your choices. Peace with your past. Peace with the person you see in the mirror. Years later, David realized something important. He didn't need more achievements. He needed more alignment. He didn't need more people knowing his name. He needed deeper relationships with the people who mattered. He didn't need to become someone else. He needed to return to himself. And maybe that's the lesson life teaches everyone eventually. At some point, you stop chasing applause. You stop trying to impress everyone. You stop measuring your worth through outside approval. And you start protecting something far more valuable: your peace. Because the strongest people are not the ones who receive the most attention. They are the ones who no longer need it. If this message resonated with you, subscribe for more insights on human nature, self-mastery, and Stoic wisdom. And tell me in the comments, have you noticed that what you need emotionally has changed as you've gotten older? Because sometimes growing stronger doesn't mean gaining more. Sometimes it means finally understanding what was never missing.